not start the weekend off right with something that is disastrous for your mental state? After everything that we've seen in Higurashi, the village itself being torn asunder, characters believing that everyone is out to get them, there's a cabal of villagers really plotting behind the scenes, and everything that they're willing to get rid of, get out of the way, to a disastrous end. Luckily that story is over, instead we're just looking at some family tragedy. Oh no. Having someone that is a serial scam artist out for as much money as possible, no matter who they hurt in the end, at least it's not an immediate threat to life, but it could be so much worse. Hurting someone so deeply that the repercussions will emanate through the years. We haven't, at least I don't think we've seen the effects of Rena's father losing out on a bunch of money thanks to a honeypot scam, or badger scam. So do they get it stopped? Or did she just do that good of a job at hiding it? We'll have to see. We saw her at the junkyard hiding away in a little cubby hole, so can she ignore it forever? Gonna bring in any outside help. Just like the premonitions of the future, maybe someone on the outside needs to step in. I'm eager to see this one, so sit down and get a drink, because we need to begin. And speaking so openly and loudly about their exploits and what they're planning to do, who they're trying to screw over in the pursuit of money. After she was so kind and gave her a cake earlier, are we going to get a vigilante justice, kind of like how we did with the aunt? Or the uncle in Keiichi's kind of fever dream? Although, considering, they all have their own troubles and issues and worries throughout all of it, has she, or does she want to reach out for help? Is she the kind of one to keep it all bottled up? Pretend that everything is fine? And now, considering that we are getting more of her storyline, is it going to bleed into her history a little? What led her up to coming here and what we were told about all of the damage she caused? But I think I mentioned in the previous, maybe not previous episode, but at least one of them, the more we see, the more we're seeing that there's less supernatural goings on. Sure, there's still hints towards this curse and whatnot, but then it's like, oh, the villagers and whatnot involved, they're actually pulling the strings. The demon was actually Shion. So this is a very possibly grounded story. Okay. I mean, if there was any country other than Japan, I might have expected something else being in that lockbox. There seems to be a lot that is slowly vanishing. And is she going to slowly cut off ties with all of the other one and distance herself from them because of what's going on in her life? Well, that's a bit pessimistic. Not entirely wrong sometimes, but a bit pessimistic. And just straight out of the window. Cool. Defenestrating yourself is slightly easier when there's, when it's on the ground floor. Tattoo? Is that going to be the only identifiable feature later? And managing to put on a smile and a brave face. Just the three of you. Maybe she should. Although it is quite a dangerous thing. Rust and nails everywhere. What if there's a shift in some of the trash? It could easily be buried. I mean, she called out when she called her, so why hard of hearing? What? Good seeing you. See you. Nice chat. Just lead her deeper within the pile. There's not many people around for miles on end. Depends on what you're asking. Maybe this girl also has an identical twin. There's nothing untoward happening. It's just straight to the point. Not that she might have too much of a say in it, to be fair, but now someone just barging in, trying to take the role of the mother of the household over her smell. Well, meaning she's overdoing it with the perfume or needs a wash. I mean, she does look like might be a little sticky. Well, all she really has to do is have a few scuffles and scrapes. Oh well, now she just has two people to get rid of. So even if she is, there's nothing to say that it was him. Well, she's now thinking the same thing there. And now that she's starting to push into her meal ticket, Do you think the father would just be okay with his daughter disappearing? Do you think a relationship would be able to survive that? The glass. Although her fingers might be cut a bit now after having that kind of force. Fiona going to get some batting practice in as well, is she? It was fine when it was one way round. Yeah, it's good that no one knows this place. Jesus Christ, this is a bit more vicious than I had anticipated. Okay. Zoomed out, fine. The quick pan in with the crumpled face and the teeth. Holy hell. That was a bit much, even for... It was a bit much even for this show. At least if she takes it into her own hands again, then it would actually help several people out. Is she going to tell him that she's waiting for him over in the dump? She's playing this very straight. Just, have a look in the fridge. Don't worry, it's still cold. Does she have spare batteries around? And with just enough. Oh, there's no coming back from that one. They're really amping up, aren't they? From before we were seeing, like, the sense of the darkened bits and not really showing much of the brutality. Now it's not shying away in the slightest. Did they get the, yeah, the audience are loving it. Go ahead. They're doing a splitting job. Nothing that can't be resolved. Oh, she's going that far, is she? Get rid of any identifiable marks. Missing a lot of pieces. Good transition. You'll never know what you'll find. One person's trash is another's treasure, after all. Is it okay to intrude on her private time alone? And with there being the story of the dam workers and the like, it's a very haunted spot. I didn't expect it to go so hardcore and so off the rails so quickly. We're on episode 2 of this arc, and she's already cleared up her worries. Are they going to offer to lend a hand? Even if you are friends, there are some things that kind of cross some line. Or, even if she did not have to go through such hard work trying to tidy it away. Quick, let's brainstorm. Yeah, let's brainstorm ideas. How would they have helped? Give him a second. I mean, she might have jumped straight into the pipe solution, but I mean, considering that she's moved around, had to come here and not been part of all this all too long, but is that why she always had that kind of happy expression where everything is okay, no matter how much she was actually suffering or going through? Does he want to talk about trusting others? She wouldn't have had to deal with this alone, at least. I mean, her problems are sorted. What better future can there be? It might not have been showing on her face, but I like how he's being the mouthpiece for all of them. The others just kind of standing there looking somewhat ashamed and afraid. They were part of the somewhat powerful families, and one being somewhat close to them as well. Can they bury it all? Is it something you just get on with? Is it stable up here? Is there going to be an accident which they can't take things back? Now they are all in this together. If one goes down, they all go down. They are strangely accepting of all this really quickly. Maybe because, to get out of this somewhat safely and make sure that she doesn't do anything more off the rails. Oh yeah, that's what you need to forgive. Is this just a conversation that's going on in her mind? How it was, how it came to pass? Yes. The first one might have been able to be passed off as manslaughter and self-defense. The blade to the back of the head, I'm not sure I can really pass too easily. I like the swelling music for something so tragic. So, how nearby is the swamp? No? Just... Huh. Okay. Buried? No? Just chucked in a cave. Alright. There might be bears around, but that might help with the evidence anyway. Hopefully she doesn't see this as a resolution for all of her troubles in the future. Oh, having a bad day? Get out the axe. Maybe you can blame yourself a little bit. There's a reason for that one. Even trying to help your family, or no matter how... If sometimes something in your life has happened and we've fantasized taking her course of action. But there really isn't some so easy of a way back. I would do my damned hardest to have a early onset dementia about the scenes that they had seen today. A lie told often enough becomes a truth, huh? At least they are all on the same page there, no matter the gravity and weight of what has been done. But is she going to be able to actually accept it? Is that what this arc is all about? We're seeing the tragic elements first. Is it going to be we had reports and your dad was the last one to see them alive, and he was involved with them both, now they've been vanished? Let's hope in those garbage bags, which she so neatly taped up, she's removed any identifying marks. Hang on a second. Long ago, in one of the earlier ones, we saw a body, bags in the river. I'm going to need to go check that again. Was there a tattoo that we saw on that? Anyway, hopefully she's removed any identifying marks, fingerprints, teeth for dental records. But also, even if they did transfer from the trash heap to the forest, I'm surprised that there isn't any traces. Well, hopefully they didn't leave any traces behind. Blood is one hell of a thing to try and get out of rusted iron. And yes, I took this episode slightly lightly because how the hell are you supposed to carry on normally after seeing some of those scenes? We've seen, twisted bones and organs in the wrong place before, circa ReZero or something. But as much as Higurashi really kind of errs on the edge of gratuitous gore, we never really saw too much before. It was always just slightly off screen or shadowed. But no, bring in a pregnant woman and yeah, it's fine. Bash away, apparently. I'm not going to read into that any more than I have to. I will say that their eagerness to, we can move past this. You've done a heinous act, one that you probably could have avoided. They were just after your money. Money can be replaced. Let the court system try and deal with it. No, she went straight into smash and grab. She was kind of pressured into one of them, though. But yeah, they really rallied around her. We're friends, we can deal with this and get through anything. Sure, there's friends, but do they really understand what they're getting themselves into? Is it something you can just have a nice rest, a warm shower, and maybe home-cooked meal or two, and what were we ever worried about? Oh, that's it. The law. With detective on the case, is he going to let this one go? I don't think there's the stipulation when it comes to Moida, first, second, or any degree really, which is like, they were arseholes, so we'll let you off. I was kind of hoping to see more of Renna and her trips around the dump to see the scavenging, the treasure hunt as it were, seeing what she can pull up. That was abruptly ended, wasn't it? The idea that we had this issue for her family kind of in the background eating away at her could have been quite interesting. The fact that it is just so summarily sorted, now it's the aftermath, which is the issue. The cover-up is usually worse than the crime, as they say, so what is she going to have to get her hands dirty with now in order to stay safe? I am mortified. I wonder if we're going to have any more time with the father. At least he's going to be slightly better off financially now. But how's he going to feel about having the person he was enjoying spending time with just suddenly up and vanish? Sure, he did have someone knocking on his door. Maybe he'll get over it pretty quick. Maybe the fact that the detective here means that her dad went to the police about it, saying he was being threatened. So they were waiting for him to come to the door, but he never turned up. So, are you wasting police time? Or is there more going on? Let's investigate. Oh, they're actually missing. They haven't been home in several days. Yeah, there's not much else going on in this town. They've got the spare time to actually do some detective work. As bad as that would actually be for our main cast. And if there does have to be a scapegoat or a fall guy or something, I'm guessing Keiji would be willing to sacrifice himself. We'll have to see. This is a story unlike other Higurashi timelines and issues. Isn't something that concerns the village or some element of curse or even the cotton festival at all. Is completely separate and completely connected to reality. This, although the dump and whatnot seems a little out there, but still, it's something that could have occurred. And I wonder if that disparity between how it usually does stories to this one being very natural rather than the super. Is it going to tie in with any of the other bits and pieces that we've learned and heard of before? I don't know if I can wait. I need to find out. And hopefully you do as well. If you've enjoyed this in some warped way, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below if I've entertained you. Consider subscribing so you don't miss the next one. Get some rest. Wrap up warm. Get a tetanus jab or two. If you get a phone call to meet someone in a scrapyard late at night, at least think twice about it. See you in the next one. Seeing that gave me a splitting headache. If you wouldn't mind following me down to the inconspicuous scrap heap, consider joining onto my Patreon instead. Slightly less deadly for you, but no less filled with trash. So, I do need to thank Noku, Sao, Dotrofan, Guado, Kite, Raywin, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else. Because thanks to all of your help, the bodies left in our wake may not be found. And let's be honest, this channel needs as much help as it can get.